Hi guys. Hello everyone. Welcome to this session which will be on CSAT PYQs. My name is Abhilasha and I'll be taking you through this session where we are covering CSAT 2024 PYQs. Okay. So these are some questions that have appeared in the exam. If you have joined the session just now, can you quickly tell me if I am audible and visible so that I know व्हाट इज हैपनिंग। अगर अभी आप लोगों ने अभी हमें अभी अभी ज्वाइन किया है तो प्लीज चेक करके बताओ क्या मैं सुनाई पड़ रही हूँ, दिखाई पड़ रही हूँ, मेरा साउंड और ऑडियो वीडियो बिल्कुल सही से आ रहा है या नहीं। सो इफ यू कैन जस्ट टेल मी दैट, यू कैन ऑल्सो टाइप इन योर नेम इन द चैट बॉक्स। अपना नाम चैट बॉक्स में डाल सकते हैं और मेरे को बता सकते हैं आप कौन कौन है। मेरा नाम है अभिलाषा और मैं ये सेशन लूंगी। माय नेम इज अभिलाषा एंड आई विल बी टेकिंग यू थ्रू दिस सेशन। Also guys, please remember to hit the like button, share the session with your friends who are interested in preparing, and also subscribe to the chat. तो लाइक करो, शेयर करो और सब्सक्राइब करो, क्योंकि ऑफ कोर्स लाइक से तो हमारी लाइफ ही है। और शेयर करोगे और लोग आएंगे, मजा आएगा, वील हैव मोर फन, वील हैव मोर डिस्कशन। प्लीज अंडरस्टैंड, ये एक प्लेटफॉर्म है जहां हम सारे मिलके प्रिपरेशन कर रहे हैं। we are trying to I'm trying to help you, but it'll only be more fun, more exciting if more and more people join in. So let's get more people in. Also subscribe कर लो, because subscribe करके रखोगे तो chat box में participate कर सकते हो। Chat is subscribers only, and that's why you need to join the chat through subscription. All right guys, I hope सभी लोग आ रहे होंगे फटाफट से। आज के सेशन में मैं कुछ 10 क्वेश्चन कराऊंगी। ये पास्ट ईयर क्वेश्चंस हैं और we'll have some fun along the way. We'll try and learn the passage, understand the words, the meanings and everything else. I hope अभी आप लोग रीडिंग करने लगे हैं और प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं। सी सैट में छोटे पैसेजेस आते हैं, बड़े पैसेजेस नहीं आते हैं दूसरे एग्जाम्स की तरह। सो दीज आर लाइक 150 200 वर्ड पैसेजेस, नो मोर, and each passage would have maybe one or two questions. Questions बहुत interestingly कुछ क्रिटिकल रीजनिंग के होते हैं और कुछ बेसिक रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन टाइप के होते हैं। क्रिटिकल रीजनिंग से मेरा मतलब है इन्फरेंस, अजम्पशन, ऑल ऑफ दैट। और रीडिंग कॉम्प्रिहेंशन से मतलब है मेरा मेन आइडिया या स्पेसिफिक डिटेल टाइप के क्वेश्चंस होते हैं। तो इसेंशियली ये ही टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चंस हैं जो आपको सी सैट में मिलेंगे इन द PYQs। चलो सेशन स्टार्ट करते हैं। आई थिंक जितने लोग को आना रहा होगा अभी तक आ चुके होंगे। फॉर मी इट इज ऑलवेज वेरी interesting to start the session as soon as possible, even though I know there are lots of people who keep waiting. तो बस शुरू कर लेते हैं। आ जाओ, आज का सेशन सी सैट PYQs मेरे आने की अभिलाषा के साथ आज का सेशन। लेट्स गेट स्टार्टेड। सो हियर्स योर फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन गाइस। ओके, तो छोटा सा पैसेज है, 2 क्वेश्चंस हैं। लेट्स रीड द पैसेज। आई एम गोइंग टू गिव यू अ मिनट टू रीड एंड देन वी विल डिस्कस दिस। तो मैं तब तक अपने आप को म्यूट कर लेती हूँ। All right, guys, let's read this passage and understand. फटाफट passage समझते हैं। According to Food and Agriculture Organization, FAO World की एक बड़ी ऑर्गेनाइजेशन है, 1/3 of food produced for human consumption is lost or wasted globally. So 1/3 of the food is lost or wasted globally. Food is lost or wasted through how? What are the methods? Supply chain, initial agricultural production to final household consumption. So these are 3 places that you lose the food. Increasing wastage also results in, so what is it resulting in? It is resulting in land degradation, by about 45%. So land is degraded badly. And what are the reasons? Deforestation, unsustainable practices, and excessive groundwater extraction. The energy that you spend over this wasted food results in about 3.5 billion tons of carbon dioxide production every year. So this carbon dioxide would also be creating global warming. Decay also leads to harmful emission of other gases in the atmosphere. Addressing the loss and wastage of food in all forms is critical. Critical means it is very crucial. You have to do it. It is an urgent thing to complete the cycle of food sufficiency and food sustainability. तो अगर आप चाहते हैं कि food sufficient भी हो और sustainable भी हो, तो हमें ये loss और wastage जो है, ये बहुत इसको खत्म करना या कम करना बहुत essential है. Okay, so let's understand. I hope you've understood the passage. Passage is about food that is प्रोड्यूस फॉर ह्यूमन कंजम्पशन, वो वेस्ट हो जाता है. और वेस्ट होने से बहुत सारे प्रॉब्लम है. प्रॉब्लम्स में आपका लैंड डेग्रेडेशन है. लैंड डेग्रेडेशन क्यों हो रहा है? डिफॉरेस्टेशन, अनसस्टेनेबल प्रैक्टिसेस और एक्सेसिव ग्राउंड वाटर एक्सट्रैक्शन की वजह से. ठीक है, इस डीके से बहुत सारा फूड वेस्ट हो रहा है और उससे हार्मफुल एमिशंस हो रहे हैं. तो ये चीज़ें बहुत अर्जेंट है. Let's take a look. The question says, which of the following statement best reflects the most logical and rational inferences that can be made from the passage? तो इस passage से हम क्या क्या समझ सकते हैं? Let's try and understand. The current methods of food distribution are solely responsible for loss and wastage of food. Now, the current methods of food distribution are responsible, but are they solely responsible for loss and wastage? No. We had said that the food is lost or wasted through the supply chain, but that it is the sole reason, we don't know actually if it is the sole reason, right? So therefore the problem is with the word solely, and so one should not be an answer. Let's look at two. Land productivity is adversely affected by the prevailing trends of food loss and wastage. तो लैंड प्रोडक्टिविटी एडवर्सली अफेक्ट होती है. बिल्कुल अनसस्टेनेबल एग्रीकल्चरल प्रैक्टिसेस हैं. 45% लैंड डेग्रेडेशन हो रहा है. सो देयरफॉर 2 इज अ गुड चॉइस. Let's look at 3. Reduction in the loss and wastage of food results in lesser carbon footprint. We can understand that when you are spending energy over wasted food जिसमें 3.5 billion tons of carbon dioxide produce हो रहा है, तो अगर आप कम एनर्जी लगाएंगे तो कम कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड प्रोड्यूस होगा. So this is something that we can infer from the passage. Let's look at the fourth one. Post-harvest technologies to prevent or reduce the loss and wastage of food are not available. Again, we don't know if they're available or not. That is something that the passage does not really say. Right? I don't know if this is available or not. And post-harvest technologies का कुछ भी नहीं बोला हुआ है. So this actually is something that is alien to us. We don't know if it is happening. Now, option number A was something that was too extreme, was solely responsible. So बिल्कुल भी नहीं था. Extreme है, एक alien है. 2 और 3 दोनों correct हैं, and therefore your correct answer will be option number B. 2 and 3 only. ओके, आई होप यू गॉट दैट. गाइस, जब हम एलिमिनेशन कर रहे हैं, याद रखिए हम यूज कर रहे हैं बीस्ट. ओके, द बीस्ट मेथड. बीस्ट यानी कि ब्रॉड एंड नैरो. बहुत ही ब्रॉड होना या बहुत ही नैरो होना, इसको हटा देंगे. ई से एक्सट्रीम ऑप्शंस, यानी जिसमें ऑल लिखा है, ओनली लिखा है, नेवर लिखा है, जैसे सोनली यहाँ पे लिखा था. सो दोज ऑप्शंस. A is alien, something that is not part of this passage. S is side track, मतलब passage से related बात है या कोई और statement है passage से, but answer नहीं है. और T यानी कि tone mismatch. passage positive है, आपका option negative है, so that's a tone mismatch. So these of course options, or these are 5 very beautiful ways of eliminating options. इसके अलावा एक आप false भी eliminate कर सकते हैं, so that also. That's a very beautiful way of eliminating, you know. So use the beast, be the beast, whatever, है ना. All right, चलो आगे चलते हैं. Question number 2, same passage से है. Based on the above passage, the following assumptions have been made. What are the assumptions that are valid? You have to take a minute, read the question, and then tell me. The food distribution mechanism needs to be reimagined and made effective to reduce the loss and wastage of food, ensuring the reduction of wastage and loss of food is a social and moral responsibility of all citizens. What is the correct assumption? Let's take a moment and identify. All right, let's take a look. तो passage ने बोला कि food is wasted and lost in the food distribution mechanism throughout the supply chain. So if we were to reimagine the supply chain, then it would become more effective. So one makes a lot of sense. Look at the second one. Ensuring reduction of wastage and loss of food is a social and moral responsibility. Yes, because it is critical. So therefore, if it is critical, it is a social and moral responsibility of all of us. And therefore, the correct answer will be C, both 1 and 2. Okay, I hope you got that. All right, let's go to the next question. Okay, this is the second passage. So we will read it for a minute. I'm going to give you a minute to read. Take your time and then we will discuss. All right, I hope you have been able to read the passage. Let's take a look at what the passage is saying. So, as inflation rises, so inflation is rising, even governments which were previously committed to budget discipline are spending freely. So, the inflation is rising, governments are spending freely. Why? To help households. Higher interest rates announced by the central government, central banks are supposed to, so higher interest rates are supposed to help produce modest fiscal austerity, because to maintain stable debts while paying more to borrow, government must cut spending or raise taxes. Now, without the fiscal backup, monetary policy eventually loses traction. So you have to have fiscal and monetary policy working together. Higher interest rates become inflationary, not disinflationary. Okay, because they simply lead governments to borrow more to pay rising debt service costs. So, because of higher uh, interest rates, what happens is that governments start borrowing more to pay the rising debt service costs. The risk of monetary unmooring, that the monetary policy fails, is greater when public debt rises, because interest rates become more important to budget deficit. So, you have to take care of that. All right. So, let's take a look at our answers. Question here, question number 3 says, which of the following best reflects the most logical, rational inference or inference that can be made? Option number 1 says central bank cannot bring down inflation without budgetary backing. Okay. And option number 2 says effects of monetary policy depend on the fiscal policies pursued by the government. All right. If you were to take a minute and go through this, very interesting. It says central banks cannot bring down inflation without budgetary backing, right? So that means both have to happen together. Now, if you take a look, uh, even governments which are previously committed to budget discipline are spending freely. So therefore, they're trying to ensure that the budget discipline is maintained. So okay, I hope I'm visible. All right. So the option number one here says fiscal policies of governments are solely responsible for higher prices. We know solely is incorrect. Higher prices do not affect the long term government bonds. Okay. Now, do they not affect the long term government bonds? They do. Now, let's take a look. So, the first one, of course, I know is clearly incorrect. This is an extreme option. We know. So, therefore, A is not a possible answer. So, I'll eliminate that. So, all right. I hope you've been able to read the passage. Let's read. So, today, if we consider cities such as New York, London, Paris as some of the most iconic cities in the world, it's because plans carrying a heavy systems approach were imposed on their precincts. So, they had a very big systems approach, and those plans were forced on the city. The backbone of the systems theory is the process of translating social, spatial, and cultural desirables into mathematical models using computing, statistics, optimization, and an algorithmic way of formulating and solving problems. So they used maths, they used the systems theory on these cities. The early universities of the West, which began to train professionals in planning, spawned some of the most ingenious planners and who were expert in these domains. And this was because those very subjects were absorbed into the planning curriculum that had its root in the social sciences, geography, and architecture. Planning in India and its education differ from the West. So there is a very different type of planning that is happening in India and in the West. How they teach it also is very, very different. All right, let's take a look at the question. What is the most logical and rational inference that can be made? Option number A says curriculum for urban planning courses should have diverse and interdisciplinary approach. And this is correct because you will need computing, stats, optimization, geography, social sciences, architecture, so many things. So therefore diverse and interdisciplinary makes sense. In India, city administration is under bureaucracy which lacks formal training in urban planning and management. We don't know if they lack formal training in urban planning and management. Passage does not say anything like that. So, not B. In India, the management of urban areas is a local affair with a chronic problem of insufficient funds. My goodness, again, we don't know if there is money involved here. It's not mentioned. So, this is absolutely an alien option. Option B is also alien, so therefore we'll eliminate this. Look at D. With high density of population and widespread poverty in our urban areas, planned development in them is very difficult. Again, we don't know if it is high density of population and widespread poverty that causes this. So here is again something that is related to the topic but is not mentioned, right? So you could have max said it is a sidetrack, but it is actually an alien option only. So we'll eliminate D also. So best option for us will be option number A, and that's going to be your answer. All right, let's look at the second question, which is based on this. So assumptions have been made. Which assumptions are correct? Again, take a moment, read, and then we will try and understand. So the first one, you can pause the video if you want to, okay? So the first one says India needs a new generation of urban professionals with knowledge relevant to modern urban practice. Okay. Well, yes, because planning in India is happening very differently, right? So probably yes, we need to. Indian universities at present have no capacity or potential to impart training in systems approach. But they have no capacity is very extreme, guys, right? And therefore two cannot work. One will definitely work. So your answer is going to be option number A, one only. Okay. India needs a new generation. See, it says that I'll tell you why we are saying this. Very beautifully connected. So we said if we consider cities such as New York, London, and Paris as some of the most iconic, they're iconic. Why? Because they had a heavy systems approach. Okay. And then he says planning in India and its education is differing from the West. So that means that what they did was very systems approached and what we did was not. And therefore we need to do something that is more urban, that is more modern, and therefore we need people to learn and then use it. So that is why one will be a good answer. Please understand, it's a very interesting, very tricky question. So one only will be the correct answer here. Okay. All right. Let's go to the next passage. Again, I'm going to mute myself. You take a moment, read it, and then we will discuss. All right, let's take a look. So, not every voice on the internet commands the same kind of audience. So, that means different voices have different audiences, correct? When anonymous private entities with high capital can pay for more space for their opinions, they're effectively buying a louder voice. You have more money, you get more voice. If a political discourse on the digital sphere, political discussion, is a matter of outshining one's opponent till one the election is won, then the quality of politics is suffering. So if it is all the discussion that is happening in the digital sphere is all about spending money and putting your ad out there, then politics, the quality will suffer. The focus of social media is restricted to promotion of content that generates more user engagement. They don't care if it is inflammatory or if it is anything else. What they care is that there is more user engagement. Okay. All right. What is the central idea of this passage? Let's take a minute, read it, and understand. Constructed as a marketplace of views, social media ensures instant access to information. But please understand, this passage was not talking about instant access to information, right? So, therefore, not one. Look at B. Social media are not ideal or moral institutions, but the products built by companies to make profit. Okay, we can, I don't know, this doesn't really work, I'll put a question mark on this. Social media have been created to strengthen democracies. No, they have not been created to strengthen democracies. This I know is not the central idea of the passage. In today's world, social media are inevitable again for well informed social life. Social life is something that the passage is not talking about. Inevitable, again no. So the best option for us then, guys, is option number 2. That's not a very good answer, but it is the only answer that you can use. Okay. All right. Let's look at the next question. So based on the above passage, the following assumptions have been made. What are the assumptions and what will be the correct answer? Let's take a minute. So internet is not inclusive enough. Yes, it is not inclusive enough because it is just about high capital. So one is valid. Internet can adversely affect the quality of politics. Yes, the quality of politics does suffer. So two also. Correct? So then in this case, for this passage, the correct answer will be both A and B, guys. So answer should be C, both A and B. Okay? All right. I hope you've understood. Huh? What they're saying is that if you have more money, you can buy social media. So if it is in any field, it is about more media. All right, let's go to the last passage for the day. Again, I'm going to give you a minute to read and then we'll discuss. All right, let's read the passage and then we'll take a look. So, by the time children reach class 8, the bulk of them tend to be in the age range of 13 to 15. But in our country, about a quarter of all children in class 8 struggle with reading simple text, and more than half are still unable to do basic maths also. Okay. Every year, about 25 million young boys and girls from elementary school that into life that lies for them beyond compulsory schooling. So they go into school, middle school. They cannot enter the workforce, at least in the organized sector, till they are 18. For many families, these children are the first from their families ever to get this far. First children who've come to school, middle school. Parents and children expect that such graduates from school will go to high school and college. So families are expecting that they will come to middle school, then high school. Hardly anyone wants to go back to agriculture. They don't want to go to agriculture. But if you look at the abilities, their abilities are far lower than they should be, even based on the curricular expectation of class 8. So they're not even able to read or do maths up to class 8. But they want to study and they don't want to go back to their farming life, right? All right. So the assumptions that have been made, let's try and identify. For effective school education, parents have a greater role than the government. Well, this is not something that we know. Whose role is greater? This comparison is not given, so not one. School curriculum that conforms to today's requirements and is uniform for the entire country may address the issue brought out. Okay, but again, I don't know if this will address. Okay, so no. So which of these are valid assumptions? Neither one nor two, and that's going to be your answer, guys. Okay. I hope you got that. All right, let's look at the next one. Which of the following best reflects the central idea conveyed by the passage? Take a moment, read it, and then tell me what is the central idea of this passage. Is it A, total eradication of poverty will resolve the issue of underperformance? If we eradicate poverty, is that going to help resolve underperformance of our school children? Actually, no. Monetary incentives to parents and teachers is a strategy to improve the. So, if I pay money to parents and teachers, will that help improve the children's academic performance? Again, no. Public policy should ensure that competencies and achievements of the young people are aligned with their expectation. So, what they know and what they expect should be aligned, and that what will do that? Public policy. So yes, 3 can be a good choice. India is not going to take advantage of demographic dividend unless some school pass outs go back to, but we don't know if they need to go back to agriculture and then only you will take advantage of the demographic dividend. So not D. So here the best answer is going to be option number C. Okay, and that's your answer. All right, guys. So here are your answers. I've already given them to you. Okay. So if you have any questions, please feel free to ask me. I will come back to you with another session on PYQs. And yeah, that's it, guys. Thank you. You can always send your queries in, okay, to the chat box. If you just put it into chat box, we'll be able to answer those. Okay. All right. Thank you so much, everyone. I will hope that you have subscribed and that you've liked and shared the session. Do make sure you've done that. Thank you so much, everyone. Have a nice day. Bye bye. Adios, मेरे amigos. जल्दी मिलेंगे फिर से. Bye bye.